Hey everybody, I wanted to put together a little video on how I configure my settings. I've had a lot of questions about it lately. So first off, just open up your Bamboo Studio and let's load up a file. I'm going to grab the Glen Arch here. So what we want to do is go over here to your settings. We got global and objects. So under global, we'll go through and configure this first. I just use the 0.2 millimeter standard, and then let's go over to strength. I typically like to do 3 wall loops. You can go ahead and click the thin wall detection, and then we'll go down here and do 4 top shell layers, which is plenty for these. And then here's where we're going to start making some adjustments: the sparse infill settings. I like to set this for 10%. And go down to lightning fill. So what this is going to do is your global settings, it's going to set everything to with these parameters. So now what we want to do is we want to select just the bottom 6 millimeters of this base and change that to another kind of infill pattern. That way we can get a little more strength around the pins and just a stronger base in general. So what I do, you just right click on the model itself, and there's this one called height range modifier. So you click that, and you can see over here now we got a range selection. We're going to do the bottom 6 millimeters. So that'll take care of the pins will go up to 5 millimeters. So this will give us a little extra margin there. And then go over to strength settings, and you can see all of the settings that we set in global carried over. So we got 3 walls, we have our 4 shell, all that's already configured. What we want to do is adjust the infill pattern. So for the base, I like to use either grid, cubic, or a gyroid. So I'm going to do cubic on this one. And notice there's a little lock symbol. That's very important. Um, Sometimes if the lock's not there, it'll default back to the global. So if you already had it set on cubic, what you could do is click on something else and then go back to it, and then it'll put that lock symbol there. And you can do the same thing for the infill. So I could do 15%, and I'll go back to 10, and we see we got the lock next to it. So those are locked in, good to go. Now what we can do is test it and make sure it worked. So let's go over here to slice, and it will go ahead and generate those layers and the G code for it. Alright, and then to test it out, what you want to do is grab this little bar on the side here, and you can bring it down. It's going to chop it by layer. And what we're doing is looking here to see if the grid, the pattern is correct. So that looks like lightning, that's good. And then we'll get all the way down to the base, the bottom 6 millimeters, and there you go. You can see we have that cubic on there. So that worked out perfect. So let's, for example, if this did not carry over the settings, and let's say it got the cubic on there accidentally. I'll show you what it looks like here. So now you can see it did cubic for the entire thing, and you can see our filament usage is much higher. So that's 379 grams. Let's go back to lightning again. Do lightning here. So that cubic would be very strong. It just takes up a lot of filament that's not really needed for these crawlers. So down to 250, so that's, over 100 grams of filament savings, which is significant. That's how you do that.